Good to go.
We're live? Okay. Hey, everyone. I'm really excited to introduce you to Jenna. I've been talking a lot about the science of activation and this little yellow pill. And I just wanted to come on and just share a little bit more about our story and what it's been doing for us. And so Jenna and I, we go back probably like 5 years. I met her in Central Oregon and we became fast friends because she's really into health and wellness, and we met in a mom's group. And so we immediately connected just from like our lifestyle and interests. And so we've been friends for a while, and Jenna went through homeopathy school. And so she was helping me with my oldest, who is, he just turned 9, and he's on the autism spectrum. And I shared a little bit recently about like our school situation and his struggles with like, we were in a private school, and it didn't work out because they just weren't set up to like specialize. He didn't have an IEP there, and a lot of the teachers weren't trained to help him with his special needs. And so I was kind of going through that transition of trying to figure out what I was going to do with him in the private school and then get him into a public school with support. And I was kind of in touch with Jenna and trying to like work on some homeopathy stuff with him for his hyperactive brain. And like he does a lot of stimming when he's excited. And so so we were working for like a year with homeopathy and just trying to do protocols and stuff. And then Jenna had mentioned activation to me, and I had no idea what that was. I hadn't heard of it before. And she was having great success with her clients with it. And so I was like, okay, let's take a look at this and see what it is. And so we got activated, like, I think it was last spring. So it's been about a year, and we immediately saw like huge changes with like focus and just growth, like maturity. And so bringing it back to the whole private schools, transitioning to public school, about the time that we had gotten activated, and we were transferring to a new public school, which normally the beginning of school years for my son are challenging because he loves his routine. And so going to a new school is always, going to a new school is hard, but just in general, like a new school year is hard because he's having to learn new expectations and new rules and everything for the classroom. And then with this last year, he was starting in a whole new school with new friends and everything. And so consistently, since he's been in school, in preschool, kindergarten, first grade, the first 1 or 2 days of school have always been kind of a disaster. Like something happens, or like he's just, it's hard for him to adjust. And so last year, he had just started school, and I was expecting it to be difficult for him, and it wasn't. Like he was coming home happy and no issues. The teacher wasn't calling me. He wasn't getting sent to the office. He wasn't having a huge like an outburst and stuff. And so I was like really impressed with that. And then he, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, but he had a daily contract that he was doing. And so he was thriving with the daily contract, but like I can just tell from feedback from his teachers. And even at the time in the fall, he was doing soccer and then went on to do baseball. So like his focus and his growth in just his sport and his like coordination and like for school, just with the focus, he was having less meltdowns and less issues like interacting with his friends and stuff. And so I was noticing right away just the changes from last year, starting of the school date from the year before and then the year before. And so that was obviously that was September, the last 6 months, and things have changed since then, but we're continuing to grow and things are still going really well. And so that was my son. And then for me, like, I've noticed some huge changes in like more energy, just less brain fog, just feeling of overall wellness. I didn't really have like major health issues before I started getting activated, but I've definitely noticed just overall wellness, just in every aspect, and just more energy, and I feel better, just taking care of my health, and haven't had any issues like with getting seasonally sick. Allergies. Right now we are lots of pollen everywhere. I'm in Central Oregon, and there's like, my car is coated with pollen every morning, and I haven't had any issues with seasonal allergies. And so I'm attributing that to the activation. And so, yeah, I would love for you to speak on it a little bit, Jenna.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm all prepared with a presentation to give you guys, and with slides and everything, because I kind of want to dive into the science a little bit, but I wanted to just relate a little bit to you, because our oldest were kind of, well, I have 4, but our 3 oldest are like kind of the same age roughly.
Yeah.
And so I know one thing that we clicked on in the end was our oldest being kind of similar in a lot of ways. Yeah. And so that's why I knew when it helped my son that I knew it would help yours. Like, I just knew it was something that you'd had to try. And, you know, not everybody sees a huge change. And I'm also like you in that I'm overall healthy, no chronic illnesses, no autoimmune, like, I'm so thankful for that. But I did also notice changes, and I did notice more energy quickly, right away. But then I also, and some lowered foot pain. I had some plantar fasciitis like pain. I didn't have a diagnosis of that either. But I noticed that got much better. But then over the course of the last year, it's just continued to get a little bit better in, you know, small, like day to day, it doesn't necessarily feel like a huge difference, but then looking back, it is a big difference. And so yeah. I think that's really cool. Our stories are very, very similar.
I can also relate to that because I had the foot pain. I last year was playing indoor soccer, and I must have stepped wrong or something, but I had this just dull, numb pain on the sole of my foot for months, and it would not go away. And like, I do CBD oil and stuff, and of course I do all the natural stuff, but everything that I've tried for it, it was a temporary like relief, but I would still have that numbing pain for months. And it wasn't until I started with the NRF2 that it finally, I don't have it anymore. And I thought that was interesting because I had never had that foot pain before. I didn't even know what it was called until I started talking to you about it, and the same thing. And I was just amazed. And I'm sure it has to do with reducing inflammation and oxidative stress, but I had that same testimony, which I found interesting.
Yeah, and it's actually more common than we think. And I don't know what it is. I've actually read that it could be plantar fasciotis or I don't remember which. I'm like getting all my words mixed up, but yeah, there's the inflammation, and then there's actually a problem in the foot where the tissue starts to die a little bit, essentially due to reduced blood flow, potentially due to our footwear, our modern footwear.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it is, because like I said, I had no diagnosis. And I don't know what most people suffer with, because I think a lot of people don't get a diagnosis, or it could be wrong. But either way, it's actually a really common thing. And it's really cool that so many people can be helped by just controlling oxidative stress.
Yeah. for sure.
So I'm excited to be here today. Thanks for having me. If it's okay, I'll go ahead and start my presentation. I want to talk all about activation and why it's different from supplementation.
Awesome. I'm excited.
Yay. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Okay, cool. So yeah, we're going to talk about activation. What is activation and why does it matter? And we're going to talk about the concept of cellular activation. You might have heard us or Mary say, you know, activating our cells, activating our body on a cellular level. And that's really what we're doing. And so we're going to talk about what it is, because that's kind of a funny term. I had not heard of it before, right? And why does it matter? So most people are familiar with supplementation, which is the approach of taking vitamins, minerals, and other compounds to address deficiencies in the body. So we take in these compounds hoping that the body knows how to assimilate and use those compounds in the right way, right? So activation takes a different approach. And that approach is based on the concept that our bodies and our cells are equipped with pathways that can enable healing and proper function. So we have everything we need in our body to function optimally, right? So how can we just activate that? Okay, so this is a much more powerful and effective approach than standard supplementation. So there's this funny word called nutrigenomics, and I don't think I had ever heard of this word before learning about NRF2 activation, and which we're going to talk about today, of course. But if you you might be able to figure out what it means, right? So nutrigenomics is broken down into nutrition and genomics, or your genome, your genes. Okay, so nutrigenomics is the study of how our body, the genes in our body, are impacted by nutrition. And that nutrition is everything we take into our body, not just food, but herbs, supplements, and things we don't want to take in, such as toxins, right? So genes, just a quick science review, right? Our genes are, of course, located in the DNA in our cells, and they provide the instructions for cellular functioning every single day, all the time. Okay, there's a fascinating discovery that has been made that it's the operation of these genes that can be impacted by the foods that we eat. And again, the things we take into our body, even accidentally, such as through our skin. So scientists have discovered that important pathways in the cells that control the expression of certain genes. Okay, so if we can harness that expression for good by activating these pathways, we can have amazing effects on our body's ability to heal and function. So that's what we're going to talk about. It's pretty cool, huh? So our company is LifeVantage, and it has been a pioneer in developing ways to harness the power of nutrigenomics. Okay, back in 2003, so way back, scientists formulated a product that had direct impact on the activation of hundreds of genes. By 2005, there was actually enough interest in what this product claimed to do that the ABC News launched a primetime investigative report designed to debunk these claims. To their surprise, however, the opposite ended up happening, and the claims were verified on national TV. So if you haven't yet seen this video, type ABC in the comments and we'll get you that link. It's pretty incredible. So overnight, 5 million in orders poured in. The stock price of the company increased by 20 times. Institutions all over the country started funding their own independent studies to better understand what this product could do. So what is the product about? Okay, you heard us mention oxidative stress. So the product is about oxidative stress and reducing that oxidative stress. So oxidative stress is what happens when oxygen or other free radical compounds attack molecules and create damage. Think of an apple core when it turns brown. Okay, that browning is due to oxidative stress. It's happening inside our bodies naturally when we're exposed to daily life, and it's a key component of aging. You really can't escape it as long as you are breathing. So some levels of oxidative stress are normal and natural, like I said, as long as you're breathing. But in our modern world, our cells are having to put up with way more than they were designed to. And the fact is, we are being hijacked daily. We are surrounded by toxins and other factors that create damage in our cells and contribute to levels of oxidative stress in our food and water. We have heavy metals, minerals, pesticides in the environment, pollution, household and beauty products, mold in our personal lives. And, you know, stress can come from relationships, poor sleep, stress at work, overworking. From technology, right? Overstimulation, junk light, like blue light, EMFs, all these factors contribute to the levels of oxidative stress in our bodies, causing inflammation and contributing to the disease process. So, what is wrong with oxidative stress? Okay, high levels of oxidative stress are linked to a myriad of diseases and dysfunctions all over the body, from heart disease and hypertension to kidney disease, rheumatism, lung pathology, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, immune system dysfunction, and so much more. So if you actually go to pubmed.gov and you do a search for oxidative stress and any health condition, oxidative stress and heart disease as an example, you will come up with pages upon pages of results showing the correlation. Okay, so what we need is to lower these levels of oxidative stress and inflammation. So how do we do that? Okay, so most of you are familiar with antioxidants. Okay, so we all know that lots of foods such as blueberries have antioxidants in them. We're told it's important to include these in our diet to help combat the damage from oxidative stress. And I love blueberries, but unfortunately, eating blueberries and other antioxidant-rich foods is not going to do much to lower your levels of oxidative stress. Why is that? Well, that's because antioxidants that you eat can only neutralize free radicals on a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, 1 molecule of an antioxidant from blueberries neutralizes 1 free radical molecule. However, activating what we call the NRF2 pathway, well, it's not what we call, it's what scientists call the NRF2 pathway, turns on the production, and this is what gets me so excited, of natural antioxidant enzymes right inside your cells. So that's why we say we don't take antioxidants, we make them. Okay, so these antioxidant enzymes, catalase glutathione and SOD, which stands for superoxide dismutase, say that 10 times fast. Those antioxidant enzymes work to neutralize free radicals at a ratio of 1 million to 1. Okay, and that though they can just keep working over and over and over. So if we think of the inflammation in our bodies from oxidative stress like a forest fire, eating antioxidants would be like throwing a Dixie cup of water on the fire, trying to put out the fire 1 Dixie cup at a time. Or you could activate the production of antioxidant enzymes with the NRF2 pathway being activated, and that's more like a fire hose. So if you had a forest fire going, which option would you choose? So this day and age, just to kind of touch on hacking a little bit, because some people, we talk about biohacking. And so we're going to talk about why this is biohacking, right? So we're all looking for a hack these days and this day and age. So from parenting hacks to work hacks to laundry hacks, hacking is all about finding a shortcut that saves you time and energy, but still provides you with the results you're looking for, or even better results. Okay, so it's about working smarter, not harder. So if you could hack anything, what would it be? For me, I'm interested in living a longer and healthier life, increasing my health span. Because if you don't have your health, I mean, really, what do you have? So that's why we also call this biohacking. So as a homeopath, I understand that the cause of some dis-ease in the body is something we can't quite put our finger on. And that's where the modality of homeopathy really works so brilliantly. For example, getting sick after hearing bad news. Okay, that's something that only really homeopathy can get to the root of quickly. But for most people, the lack of health that we're experiencing can actually be tied to oxidative stress. So if we look at some of the major root causes of health problems and aging, when we want to look at the root of these problems, and we want to see what kinds of pathways and functionality we can turn on in the cells to activate our inborn healing mechanisms, right? So we're just taking what the body already has and utilizing it. So let's look at some of the products that do that. So each of the products I'm going to cover addresses one of the primary theories of aging. Okay, so let's dive right in. First and foremost, the product that started it all, the Protandim Nrf2 Synergizer. So this was the first cellular activator product, and that was the focus of the ABC investigative report. It activates, like I said, the Nrf2 pathway, which turns on the production of major antioxidant enzymes. It has been clinically proven to reduce oxidative stress by 40% in 30 days. And it does so by increasing the production of glutathione and other antioxidant enzymes by an average of 300% in 30 days. It actually has even been proven to extend the lifespan of male mice by 7%, which is remarkable. So Protandim Nrf2 Synergizer is made of 5 simple herbal ingredients. Okay, we have turmeric, milk thistle, green tea extract, bacopa, and ashwagandha. So these 5 simple herbs are combined in a patented formulation that actually, with that synergy, it works with such amazing synergy that the antioxidant producing effect of the Nrf2 Synergizer is 18 times higher than that of any of the individual ingredients themselves. So if you're thinking, I already take turmeric, I already take ashwagandha, this is different because it works in synergy. Okay, so if you want to find out more about that, go ahead and type synergy in the comments below and we'll send you a video. So this product addresses the most well-known theory of aging, which is called the oxidative stress theory of aging. So as I mentioned before, there were many institutions, universities, government health institutions, and even biotech companies that became interested in studying the Protandim Nrf2 Synergizer and the effects of the Nrf2 pathway. So if you look at pubmed.gov, you'll find 26 peer-reviewed studies on Protandim Nrf2, and actually over 200,000 studies on oxidative stress. So this is a big deal. You can also search for Nrf2, not Protandim Nrf2, but Nrf2, and you'll see lots and lots and lots of studies on that as well, because the pathway, the Nrf2 pathway, is well studied. Okay, so these are just a few of the journals that have published articles about Protandim, which is pretty awesome. And a few of the universities and institutions that have published research on Protandim Nrf2. It's pretty exciting. So moving on, another theory of aging that you may hear about or you might be familiar with is actually the mitochondrial theory of aging. And I am very, very much interested in this one. So the mitochondria are the powerhouses of our cells. They are responsible for converting cellular energy, food energy into cellular energy, right? So the body is constantly repairing or removing mitochondria to replace it with new mitochondria, right? They are the powerhouses of our cells. But this process of repairing or replacing mitochondria slows down over time, which leads to aging. So NRF1 is a pathway that increases the mitochondrial health in our body. Okay, again, the mitochondria are the powerhouse of our cells, and they give us the energy to do everything. You can do a few days, or actually even a few weeks or months. People do that without, you can go a few days without water. You can go a week or a few weeks or months without food if you've looked into water fasting. But you can only go seconds without energy from mitochondria. So it's very, very important. So this, like I said, this Protandim NRF1 synergizer activates the NRF1 pathway in our cells. By turning on that production of mitochondria and repair of mitochondria, that can lead to amazing effects in the body, some of which are improved sleep, improved energy, of course, and increased cellular energy, right? Which is important for healing and normal cellular functioning. Okay, so like NRF2, the NRF1 synergizer is made from 5 natural ingredients: alpha lipoic acid, coenzyme Q10, grape extract, quercetin, and acetylcarnitine. So again, those are in a synergistic combination that serves to dramatically increase the effectiveness within the cells. Lastly, the third theory of aging is the sirtuin theory. Okay, so you may have heard about this, especially, or these sirtuins. It's kind of a funny name, right? Especially if you're into intermittent fasting. Has anyone tried intermittent fasting? Let me know below in the comments. Sirtuins are also called our longevity proteins, and for good reason. Okay, so they are responsible for cellular cleanup. So I was talking about our third synergizer, right? And this is the NAD synergizer. So the NAD synergizer activates sirtuins, which are special proteins in the cell that are responsible for clearing out cellular debris and supporting longevity. Okay, so unfortunately, sirtuin activity, those are our longevity proteins. It's just a funny name, right? They decline up to 60% as we age. Sirtuins can be increased by a couple different things. Number one, consistent caloric restriction or intermittent fasting, which is another way to restrict calories, right? But the protandem NAD increases sirtuin activity by 100% in 24 hours without the fasting. So that's actually better than intermittent fasting. And you don't have to fast. So it's pretty exciting. So the benefits of increased sirtuin activity are improved mental focus, better mood and motivation, and greater mental and physical energy. So these are the 3 key activators or synergizers in our product line. Okay, so on the left, I started with the NRF1, which is the mitochondria. The NRF1 synergizer supports mitochondria, okay? Gives you more energy. In the middle, we have our most important, the protandem NRF2 synergizer, which is going to reduce oxidative stress, again, by 40% in 30 days. And then finally, we have the protandem NAD synergizer, which increases sirtuin activity by 100% in 24 hours. So each of these synergizers work amazingly on their own, but taking all 3 together increases each product's ability to perform. So this slide shows the degree to which different genes are turned on by each of the synergizers themselves in the gray. And then in the blue, when you take all 3 synergizers together as the tri-synergizer. What's super exciting is the protandem tri-synergizer altogether is actually being patented itself. So very, very exciting there. So I think you can see that as great as these products are individually, they're even better stacked together. So I do want to mention just a couple more products that are highly beneficial. Okay, so this one is one of my favorite products. It's called Axio. It's a nootropic brain drink. I call it my brain juice or brain drink, because it helps so much with cognitive function. So once again, we're using the all natural ingredients or some all natural ingredients to take the benefits of NRF2 activation straight to the brain. So each of the ingredients do have specific use for brain health. What we see here is that we have improved mental endurance, concentration, and memory retention. Okay, it reduces mental fatigue and brain fog. And the Axio also enhances the brain's resilience to stress. I could use some right now after that stressful interruption with my computer there. So what else do I want to say about the Axio? It does also improve mood, and it boosts physical and mental energy without jitters or fatigue. So I love the Axio. It's super amazing, and I didn't think I was going to love it. So I definitely encourage, if you are looking for some support with brain health, give it a shot, or just an alternative to coffee if you want a caffeinated one. Something else about the Axio, it has even been shown to dramatically improve brain function when taken with the Protandim NRF2 synthesizer. So this screenshot is a video of a neuroscientist discussing his findings from using Axio and NRF2 in his clinical practice. It's a fascinating video. If you'd like to see it, type Axio in the comments and we'll share it with you. Last but not least, I do want to mention we have an amazing clean hair care and skincare line that brings the benefits of NRF2 activation straight to the hair and the skin. So we can see the benefits then inside and out. So, and these are very clean. They rate very, very low on, Think Dirty and all the different apps out there. So you can be assured you're not adding to your toxic load here. And finally, I hope you've enjoyed this presentation and that you've learned some valuable things about supporting your health through activation. Are you excited about what activation might do for you? Can you think of anyone else who needs to know this information? One of the best things you can do is to share life-changing information that can improve people's lives. If you're excited about the concept of activation and the potential of sharing with others, type share in the comments and we'll tell you more about this amazing business opportunity. Thanks so much for your time today. I encourage you to get back with the person who invited you here, and I hope you have a wonderful day.